Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to a unboxing for Final Girl, the Happy Trails Horror. This is one of the first expansions, part of Series 1, featuring Hans the Butcher, with the pig mask and the big sledgehammer, at the location of the Camp Happy Trails. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. Now, if you're curious what Final Girls is or how to play it, I'll link in the description the core box video, and you can definitely check that out. If you want to see other expansions, check out the playlist, as I'll be adding them as I pick up more sets. So you're not going to go over the core concepts of everything here, but we're going to look at this set here. So we have Confront Your Greatest Fear at the Horror Happy Trails, the thrilling addition to your Final Girls experience. Choose either of the two included Final Girls, Lori or Rico, and go head to head with Hans the Butcher, an unstoppable killer who hides behind an iron mask and bludgeons his victims to death with a massive sledgehammer. Savage the camp. For whatever weapons and tools will help you survive include axes, bear traps, even the keys to a motorboat. Take every last ounce of courage to make it home from the summer camp in one piece. And just a reminder, you have to have the core box to play this. Cool, so let's go ahead and check this out. So yeah, one thing I do love about this is, so the Han killer side flips up, the cover comes off, and it makes the board for the character. So we have Hans the Butcher here, who has starts with 4 horror and 12 health. And then he gains his dark power right in the middle there. He gets up to 5 health. And then it discards the next terror card. So Hans recovers, and then you discard the next terror card. Cool. So that's his stuff right there. He got his health thing over there. We have his little sheet here. It shows all his stuff on there. It says, then I'll have his icon for his set, a little pig mask. They say he wears a worn butcher smock stained dark with blood. His sledgehammer, which he drags behind him, supposedly weighs over 50 pounds and could crush an elephant's skull. He's over 7 feet tall and his eyes glow bright scarlet. But the worst part is the iron mask he wears. His passion looks like a pig, and the wet crunching sounds that can be heard beneath it. Interesting. So there's no extra special rules for this set, so he plays pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and look at his cards. So of course we're gonna have our little tray in here, which will have all our cards in there. So it does have some extra wells in here which won't be used for this set. It does say killer on there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it won't be used for this particular set because he doesn't have any extra tokens or any extra things, but they just kind of made it available for everybody. So before we jump into the killer, let's look at our two Final Girls. Let's start with those. So we have Lori, who starts with 5 health. And then each victim you get either reduce horror, add 2 time, give her a health, add 2 time, take an action card, maximum of 2 times on the action card, so you can only pick a lower level one, or she gets to move 1 space. If we flip this over, she rescues 6 survivors. She gets her final ability here. It says, her ultimate ability, I think they call it. Whenever you're in the same space as an enemy, inflict damage doing an additional hit, and then every time you save an additional victim, you gain a time. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. She's gonna get some extra ability to move around and stuff. And then we have Rico, who actually starts with 6, a little bit more health. Then hers is gain 2 time, gain a health, take the planning action card, move 1 space, and move 1 space. So the planning card's actually I think like a 5 or 6 cost card. But it's only gonna be helpful if it's available at the time. But she gets to move around a little bit more. And then her ultimate ability is once per action phase of an enemy is within 2 spaces, you may move to that enemy space for free, so she can close in the gaps pretty quickly. Awesome, so that's pretty cool there. Alright, then let's look at our killer cards. So we have our finale cards. So we have the 3 of them, which all have the same tops. They have choose a final girl or a victim, go after and then go and attack. So that's the first thing he'll do. If he's in a space, he's going to attack them. Then if you run out of tarot cards, you're going to flip over. He's going to have dark, darker, darkest. So now he gets chooses one of them. That's 2 movement and attack. Draw a second dark power. Oh, when this card is revealed, ooh, that's even worse. We have Bloodbath. So he gets the choose one, double movement, and double attack. Or he gets Butcher's Bloodlust, which he gains a Bloodlust at the beginning of every turn. So he's going to increase it very fast with this one. Targeting one of the 2 types, then double movement and a single attack. Awesome. Then we have our Dark Power cards. We have 3. They don't have anything on the backs. But on the front, we have Sledgehammer Massacre. Says for every attack, hands attacks you and each villain in his space once. Oh, so now he just attacks everybody. That's pretty crazy. Dark Obsession. Whenever hands attacks you, at least once he attacks an additional time. And then Feed. For every victim that hands kills, he recovers health. So it's kind of like either he focuses on the final girl, hits everybody, or he just gets stuff for killing victims. If you decide to go a little bit more challenging, he has Blood Frenzy, his epic dark power. Just for every villain that he kills, he gets +1 Bloodlust. So that'll increase him to the end a lot quicker. Crazy. Alright, then we're going to look at our terror card that he gets. Yeah, remember, these get mixed in with the location ones. So we'll have a little bit extra option here, but they're going to have the little pig symbol to show that they're his. He kept swinging his hanger and killing and killing. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, target a victim, move and attack, and then target a victim, move and attack again. He just came out of nowhere. Place hands on the furthest target possible, gain a horror, and then draw the next terror card. We got 2 copies of He's Just Standing There. Double horror, target one of them, and double movement. She's going to try and get closer to them. We got 3 copies of He Just Keeps Coming. So 1 horror, he gets to move and attack. 2 copies of He Wants Fresh Blood. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, target a victim, move twice, and attack. The Horrific Hammer Rush. If there are no victims, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, target victim, move twice, double attack. For each victim killed, gain a horror. Taking Souvenirs. If there are no victims, discard, draw the next terror. Move twice and attack. For each victim killed during the killer phase, +1 Bloodlust. Dark Feast. For every victim that is dead, Hands recovers a health. That's cool. So he gets that later. It can be very helpful for him. 2 copies of Hans Wants Me. He's always wanted me. It targets the final girl. Double movement and an attack. Then he has his minor dark powers, which he might gain. Unholy Speed. Hans has 1 additional move for each boot, and he gains 2 extra health. You have to get rid of these health first. And then he has Unholy Rage. Does an additional damage for each knife. And he gains 2 extra health. Yeah, so he's pretty straightforward on what he's doing. He's just going to move and attack and kill, move, attack, and kill. So that's pretty fun there. Alright, then we're going to put the box cover back on. We're going to flip to the other side and look at the location of Happy Camp Trails. Camp Happy Trails. So here's our camp. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. So we have the fire pit down here, which is a named location. We have the docks, which has a search spot. Then we can move over here. We have an exit over on this corner. We have an exit on that corner. We have an exit up in the top middle. We have the utility shed for a search item. We have the lake, the cliff, the makeout point, and we have the cabins, which also have a search spot. Yeah, so this is kind of neat, just the way it runs around, because there's only one way to get to this. Otherwise, from here, you can kind of go either direction. You got some alternate paths there. From the dock, you can get to the lake. But also notice this way is once you come this way, then you have to go all the way around. Or you have to take the lake and go to the inside. So yeah, if you start getting out to the outside, you kind of get stuck a little bit. Only one way to the utility shed. Again, kind of like either come on the inside to makeout point. Only way to get to and from makeout points, it does kind of block it off. Goes around to the outside, multiple ways here. So that's neat. There are some spots that are kind of like dead ends almost. And then at the top we have our spot for our 3 items. Cool. Oh, nice little camp symbol. Welcome to Cap Happy Trails, home to teenage love, unforgettable friendships, and idyllic summer memories. Go fishing in the lake, do some archery practice at the range, listen to ghost stories around the fire pit, or sneak off to Makeout Point. Life is always an adventure at Camp Happy Trails. Wait a sec, is that screaming out here in the distance? Oh, fiddlesticks, those spooky stories must be getting to me. I'm sure it's just screams of joy from other campers. Hot dog. Summer at Camp Happy Trails are really to die for. So that's funny. And no extra special rules for this set either. Yes, this is kind of the base set. It's like the first one that was introduced, so it's sort of like the base one. So we're going to get our terror cards. We're going to have some items and some other stuff, so we're going to go through those quick. We do have some tokens here. So we have a boat, bear traps, some fireworks, some stairs, and a skull. On the back, they're just kind of the little icons there, so we know which set they belong to. So for some reason, you might get tokens with the killers, so if you start mixing them all together, that's what the point of that is. Alright, so we're going to look at our setup cards first. So we're just going to jump into these very quickly. So this is going to show where each player starts on here. So the killer, so if we're playing Capture the Flag, the file girl starts at Makeout Point. The killer is going to start down here in this cross section. And then we'll see there will be 2 victims in each of the outer areas. If we're doing skinny dipping, we're going to have some people more on the edge of the shore, but the killer's right next to some people. Treasure hunt, a little bit more scattered out as well. Meditation hour. So yeah, everyone's a little bit scattered out. And then this is kind of interesting too, because now we get the bonfire where 2 people at Makeout Point, but 6 people at the campfire. So it kind of puts everyone in the same spot. But they're all different distances away. So it's a really fun way, because you can again play this 5 different times. Just this game, and you can have different setups. Plus then the killer has different stuff as well. So it's neat, because it's not just the same. It's not just like figure out the puzzle and then you're done. We're going to look at some event cards. So we have Stubborn Kids. Damn, teenagers think they know everything. One less victim will follow you. Dark Waters. This uses the skull token. If you go for a swim, you ain't ever coming back. Place the Dark Waters token at the lake. All victims at the lake are killed. Whenever a victim enters the lake, they're immediately killed. Oh, crazy. Fresh Meat. Welcome to Camp Happy Trails, where you'll make memories that will last until you die. Place 2 new victims at the cabins, 2 new victims at the dock, and 2 new victims at the fire pit. Discard this card. So that's cool, because that means there's that chance that you're going to have more victims appear than just what are in the base. Because like starting off here, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that going to be the number for all of them? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's like probably 10 of each. But yeah, the fact is you can get extra additional guys which might come in after people have been killed. That just gives you the chance to, as the final row, to make sure you can rescue enough people. Death Wish, I gotta get a better look, even if it kills me. During the upkeep phase, move the victim closest to the killer one space towards it. Do not count victims currently in the same space as the killer. Secret Tunnel uses 2 of the stair icons. This tunnel is the best kept secret of Randy teenagers, but now it might save my life. Choose 2 of the following spaces: utility shed, cabins, or docks, and place a secret tunnel on each. You can move between spaces as if they're adjacent. Enemies cannot use a secret tunnel. So, utility shed, cabins, and docks. So, it's our 3 locations with the item cards in it. It's kind of neat. It's not just pick 2 spots, or spots with a picture of a building on it, but specifically those. We have the boyfriend. If he's willing to die for me, who am I to stop him? The victim close to you is now your boyfriend. If you swap out one of them, meeples for able to win. If the boyfriend dies in your space, at the start of the next start the next action phase with 12 times. If the boyfriend leaves play, discard this card. So this is kind of neat, because then you can kind of sacrifice a character to gain extra time, but also keep in mind, though, if you run through one of the exit spots, they're going to leave. We have Vengeance. I don't know why I pissed it off, and I don't care why. Just saved me. The victim furthest from the killer is now the damned. Whenever the killer must choose a target, the damned is chosen instead. The damned can only be saved if it's the last victim alive. If the damned dies, it gains 2 bloodlust. Cool. So that's a neat little mechanic. We also have the girlfriend. She's cute, funny, and the biggest badass I've ever known. The victim close to you is now your girlfriend. She'll follow you to the killer's space. While she's in your space, roll +1 die for each horror roll. If the girlfriend dies in your space, gain 5 horror. So yeah, kind of different than the boyfriend. The boyfriend doesn't really do anything for you until he dies, and then you gain a big bonus. The girlfriend, on the other hand, gives you a constant bonus, but if she dies, there's a huge penalty for it. Clingy campers. If you grip my arm tighter, we're going to pull it right off. There's no penalty for the first victim you save during the action phase. For each additional victim saved, -1 health. Interesting. So saving a lot of victims is not helpful to you. Then the last one is Star-Crossed Lovers. Thus with a kiss I die. When exactly 2 victims are in a space and one of them is killed, the other immediately dies as well. Oh boy. So that's kind of a bummer. Alright, then we're going to look at our terror cards. Again, like I said before, they get mixed in with the other ones. You'll have the camp icons so you can separate them later. It says, let's go see if the rumors are true. Place 2 new victims in a space where the killer started a game. So that's why you keep your startup card out. Gain a horror and play a new event. That girl, what's her name? She can help us. Place 2 new victims in a space where you started the game. Cool. I fell asleep. What did I miss? Place 1 new victim at the cabins to gain 2 additional horror. Maybe things are starting to go our way. Draw the top card of any item deck. Yeah, so some of those weren't necessarily bad. What's that noise? Let's go and see. If there are no victims on the board, draw the next terror card. Otherwise, all victims move 1 space closer to the victim. So targeting either, you're going to attack. Then he's going to move towards the... Killer will move towards the nearest victim. No, you can't save us. No one can. No victims. Draw the next terror card. All victims on your space must panic twice. Oh, so they're going to stagger out. Then you're going to target someone for a kill and then move towards the victim. Run for your life. If there are no victims, discard, draw the next terror card. All victims who are not in your space must panic. Was that the same one? Is it all not in your space? No, in your space, panic twice. And then this one's none not in your space will all panic. Then they attack and then move. And then the last terror card is Fire. Roll a die to determine which space bursts into flames. The cabins, the utility, or the docks. All victims in that space are killed. Discard all item cards from that space. If you or an enemy are there, you each lose health. Again, this is random, so you can't control when it's going to happen. So that could suck, because not only do you possibly take damage or lose a bunch of people, but you're also going to lose all the item cards. You might lose a bunch of stuff that are there. What is neat, though, is because you shuffle all the item cards up every turn, and you put them in one of the 3 spots, so you don't know what items you're going to lose. It's not like, oh, crap, I know that the crossbow is in that, or whatever. Cool. Alright, then the last thing we're going to look at for this part are the item cards. We have Mysterious Pills. No telling what the hell these are, but I'm out of options. Down the hatch and fingers crossed. During this action phase, choose one of the following. Either reduce horror, or calms you down, or gain 2 health. The aluminum batters up, and I'm ready to hit a grand slam. 0 range, 1 damage, 2-handed. Whenever you inflict damage to a killer with the aluminum bat, you must immediately discard a minor. You may immediately discard a minor dark power, including any health markers remaining on that card. Well, that's fun. The old revolver, a little rusty, but it still puts a bullet between the eyes. Range of 1, 1 damage, 1-handed. Old revolver may only modify the weak action attack. The knife, good for wielding, also great for stabbing maniacs. 0, 1 damage, 1-handed. First aid kit. Step 1, stop the bleeding. Step 2, stay alive. Takes a hand, but every time you use an action card to recover health, recover an additional health. Trash can lid. This isn't going to stop much, but it's better than nothing. One-handed has 3 uses, but it lets you ignore a hit. The energy drink. There's no way these things are good for you, but they're better than dying. During this action phase, choose one of the following. Either move a space or gain 3 time. So I wonder if all the energy drinks, because I know the other set I have has an energy drink too. I wonder if they're the exact same ones. Or if like the knife is the same, or if they change from game to game. It'd be interesting. Lucky rabbit split. I'm not the superstitious sort, but I can take all the help I can get. During action phase, make a horror roll. For each success, choose one of the following. 2 time, health, move a space, or reduce a horror. Cool. Lucky dice. My dad had a pair of these. They said they brought him luck, and maybe they'll do the same for me. Reroll, discard to reroll any or all your dice. The map. Guide to the local points of interest. I'm going to survive the night. I need to know the lay of the land. Discard during action phase, and then for each deck of item cards, do one of the following. The top card is face down, reveal it. If the top card is face up, you may remove it from the game and reveal the next card. Cool. So you kind of get to decide, like, what you need, what you don't need. We got a flashlight. Mom always said this would scare away the monsters under my bed. I hope she was right. Once per action phase, spend 1 time to look at the top card of the terror deck. Leave it or place it at the bottom of the deck. Oh, that's could be very life-saving. Pepper spray. If you scorch in the eyes, and they'll think twice about messing with this girl. The killer's in her space. You may discard this to immediately end the killer's space. Ignore the remaining movements, attacks, and any other effect. The archery bow. Assume the position, knock the arrow, and draw an anchor, aim, release the string of bullseye. So 1 to 2 range, 1 damage, but it's 2-handed, has 3 uses, it says 3 arrows. The archery bow cannot modify an action and must be used without 1. It costs 2 time to fire an arrow. So yeah, it's not good because you can't boost up one of your other attacks, but the fact you can shoot from 2 spaces away could be very helpful. Axe, hold still for a sec while I bury this in your face. 0, but it does 2 damage and 2-handed. We have a motorboat key, which uses a little boat token. Old man Jackson, you don't mind if we borrow his boat, because I'm pretty sure he's dead. Place a motorboat token at the closest space to you bordering the water. Spend 2 movement to use your boat to travel to any other bordering space in the water. Victims may come with you. Okay, so that's pretty cool, because that means you can travel any of these different areas together without having to go all the way around the map. So it's a neat way to be able to run all the way across really quick. But again, who knows when you're gonna find it. Fireworks. Nothing like a few bottle rockets and cherry bombs to attract a little attention. Spend 2 time to place a firework token on your space or an adjacent space and not the lake. Discard. Whenever the killer must choose a target, they will choose the fireworks instead. Discard the firework token when the killer enters the space where it's located. Oh, cool. So it's like a little trap. The whistle, stupid campers gotta get their attention somehow, even if it is risky. Spend your time to use your whistle once per action phase. When used, all victims adjacent to you will move to your space. Then all enemies choose the final girl to move to. As long as you have the whistle, one of your additional victims will follow you. And then our last item card is the bear trap. Anybody who steps on this is going to have a really, really, really bad day. Spend 2 to place the bear trap in your tokens, not in the lake. Discard this card. If the killer enters the space with the bear trap, discard the token and immediately end the killer's phase. It receives 2 hits. Fun. I like the fact there's little, like, trap cards. That's just a neat extra to the game. Alright, so the very last thing we have to show off for this, I'm going to drop all these cards back in the boxes so we don't lose them, is the secret cards. So, in the trays, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. You pull the tray out, there's an envelope underneath. So this one's for Reiko's eyes. I'm going to slide that back in. I'm going to put the box top back on so I can flip this over. If we flip over to the Han side, we do the same thing. So these are little hidden ones. They're not mentioned in the rule book or anything. So, and there's one for Lori's eyes. So it's kind of interesting that they put one on each side. I'm surprised though they didn't mention it, because I'm going to bet there's going to be some people that might not even see these cards. So these are spoilers. So I'm going to just end up saying before I look at these, yeah, this is kind of like a very simple mechanics. There's not like, again, compared to like the other video the other second video I'm gonna do, which is Magnus in the Dark. Some of the other ones, they have some extra tokens in either the locations, or they have extra cards or extra mechanics, extra characters. Some of the killers have minions. So this is kind of like the Happy Trails horror. It's sort of like the basic simple game. It's the one that sometimes comes packaged with the core box, although you can find them separate. Because it's pretty much the most straightforward. The killer's just going to move and attack, pretty much that. There's a couple of distraction points at the camp, but there's no like crazy extra things you need to remember. Alright, so these are the end of the game. This is spoiler. So after you beat the game with one of these characters, you're going to be able to pick up one of their special cards. So yeah, if you don't want to know what these are, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Otherwise, we're going to do this again, spoilers. If I can pull these out. So, we are going to get Lori's bow. This is an item that can be used only when the Lori is chosen as the final girl. So, it's a new item card. And it just says, to incorporate Lori's bow in your game, simply shuffle it into the chosen location deck before setup. You'd rather ensure that it is present in your game, deal with the appropriate number of item cards -1. Then shuffle Lori's bow into this deck before dealing out the separate items. For example, the setup calls for 3 item decks of 4 cards. You would deal with the 11 cards and shuffle them. So some games might not use every single item card either. So this is just saying if there's 20 item cards and it says to use 11 of them, you might want to shuffle this and just make sure it's in there. Alright, so Lori's bow says, I won nationally with this bow, I never miss, and that's not going to change today. So it's 1 to 3, does a hit, and has 2 hands, and has 3 shots. So it does a little bit better range than the previous bow. Lori's bow cannot modify action, must be used without 1. It costs 1 to fire an arrow, so it only costs 1 instead of 2. But only Lori may use this item. Now, obviously, you're playing solo. You're only going to have the 1 final girl, so it's not an issue there. It just means it's only supposed to be included in the game with Lori. Now, is there a reason why you couldn't use this with any other character or just shuffle this into any item deck? You absolutely could. There's nothing going to prevent you from ever doing that. It's your games, do whatever you want. It's all mix and match. If it's a powerful weapon you want to add it in, go ahead. But yeah, it's kind of nice. It's just an upgraded version of the regular bow. Then we have Reiko's. Let's see if I can slide this out of there. Now, these unfortunately won't go back in their sleeves. So if you sleeve these, they won't go back in the envelopes. But we have Reiko's Axe, giving me the exact same stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Shuffle it in there. We have Reiko's Axe. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Especially with this baby in my hands. It does zero range, 2 damage, and has 2 hands. You may roll an additional die when resolving the weak action card. Yes, it doesn't do any extra range or damage, but you can extra die if you're using the weak action card. So it kind of combines with that a little bit nicer. Cool, so that's what we have for the final girls. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the rest of them. Check out the core box if for some reason you haven't. See you guys later. Bye.